Good day everyone, you're welcome back to this channel. What I have today is how to share with you a school uniform pleated skirt, and trust you're going to enjoy this tutorial. Thanks. So let's get started. Here is my fabric here. This skirt is going to be pleated in the front, and at the back is going to be an hairline shape. So I will be working with the back piece first. So Oh, so the measurement I needed for this tutorial is just the waist circumference and the length of the skirt. Now for the waist, I have the waist of this skirt to be 25 inches. That's for the waist 25 inches. Okay, now I have the length. The length of this skirt is 28 inches. 28 inches is the length. So right now we are going to start. So I'm going to determine the width of the base. So I will be using 28 or 29 inches as the width. So because of that, so I'm going to fold this. Half of this is going to give me like 14 and a half. So you can see I have 14 and a half inches right here. So it's okay by me. So I'm going to measure right now. So you can see the base is okay by me. So I will come to the upper part, which is the waistline. So since I have the length to be 28 inches, this skirt is going to have a band. So normally I'm supposed to have measured 26 inches, but because of the bending at the hemline at the base, and also I will be needing 0.5 up here. So 1.5 for the folding and 0.5 here gives me 2 inches. So 26 inches plus 2 inches gives me 28. So what I'm saying in essence is that I will just go ahead and measure the length which I have here. So by the time I fold it, and the 2 inches will have been deducted. So right now the waist circumference is 25 inches. 25 inches divided by 2 will give me 12.5. So I'm going to add extra 2 inches for it for the seam allowance. So which means I'm going to add 1 inch to it. So 12.5 plus 1 inch will give me the total of 13.5. So 13.5 divided by 2 will give me 6.5. So I will be measuring 6.5 here, or I will just go ahead and measure 7 inches as the what? As my waist for the back piece. So you can see this is 7 inches. I'm going to mark it right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to connect from the base here to here. So I'm going to place my ruler like this. So I'm going to draw that line, connect the lines together. Can you see? So right now I will just cut it out, tracing the line. So here is it. So right now I'm going to keep this aside. This is the back piece. So the next thing is to work on the front piece. So right now, to cut the front piece, now the half of the waist circumference is 13.5. Half of the waist circumference, sorry, is 13.5 because I've added the seam allowance. So 13.5. So 13.5 times 3.5. Let's say 13.5 times 3 will give me like 40.5. So 40 plus 5, I'm going to add half of 13.5. Half of 13.5 will give me like 7 inches. So 40.5 plus 7 inches, I will be having 47 and a half. So I'm going to approximately make 48. So that is going to be the width of my front piece for this skirt. So I'm going to cut 48 inches as the width. Remember, the length is still the same, 28 inches. So you can see it's on fold already. That is 48 divided by 2. So I will be having like 48 divided by 2. I will be having 24. So you can see I've folded it into 2. So I will be measuring 24 inches here. I'm going to extend it a bit so that I can have the accurate. So I have my 24 here. Here is okay for the width. The length is 28 inches. So I have my 28 inches right here. So it's okay. So what I'm going to do right now is just to cut it from that end. So I have, so this is for the front piece. So what I'm going to do right now, from this front piece, I'm going to measure from the side here. I'm going to measure 1.5 inches downward first. So I have it here. 1.5. Let me use this other side. Okay. So I'm going to measure 1.5 inch, like I said. So I have it here. So from this point, I'm going to measure 5 inches downward, and I have it here. So the width here, I will be using 0.5 inches or 3/4 of an inch. So let me use 0.5. 0.5 is okay. So I will just go ahead and connect it to this line here. You can use your free hand, you can use your ruler. Can you see? So right now I'm going to keep this aside. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to cut the pocket. So I'm going to fold it into 2. I want to cut the pocket right now. So I'm going to fold it into 2 like so. Now the width I'll be using 5 inches or 5.5 inches. So let me use 5.5 inches as the width. So you know that by the time I open it, it becomes 11 inches. So 5.5 inches is okay. So I have it here. I have it here. So from this, so I'm going to, let me trim it very well. Okay. So from this point here, I'm going to measure 1 inch first downward. 1 inch. So from this point, I'm going to measure 5 inches downwards. Then from that point, I measure another 5 inches or 5.5 inches now. From this point, I measure 5.5 inches downward. So right now, what I'm going to do right now is to connect from this 1 inch. I'm going to connect to this point. So I will just connect to this point. Or you know, I came down by 1 inch. 1 inch plus 5 inch will give me 6. So I'm going to mark 6 inches here to know where I will stop. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to come in by 1 inch here, or one quarter of an inch. So from this point I connect straight to this point. So I connect. So you can see, let me just cut it off. The total of it is 1 plus 5 plus this. So I'm going to just connect this line so that I can cut the excess off. So let me quickly cut the excess off. So right now what I'm going to do is just to make a slight curve here. So right now I will just go ahead and cut it off. So I slash this. Then I make that little curve. So here I will just go ahead and make a notch right here. Then let me just slit it a bit so that it will be, so that by the time I'm joining, it won't give me any stray. I know that this is where I'm to stop first. Then here also I'm going to slash it a bit. So this is the pocket. So having done with the pocket, so the next thing I'm going to do right now is to bring back what I have here. So I'm going to place this pocket like this. Okay, you can see that's the reason why I had to slash it, so that I will know. So I'm going to place it like this. So I'm going to start the sewing. So I'm going to start, I will sew from here like this down to this place. I sew to this place. Okay, so I'm going to start now. I will sew from here to here. After that, then I will notch. So by the time I'm done with this, I will be right back. So as you can see right here, I've stitched it, tracing the line. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to notch it. So I'm going to notch it. And you see, and I also come to this side and I also do likewise. I notch it. So the next thing I'm going to do, can you see? So having notched it, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to fold it in like this. So I'm going to fold it in like this. So the next thing I will be doing right now is to top stitch from this side to that point, to this point here. I will do a top stitching. Now as you can see right here, I've top stitched. So the next thing I'm going to do, you can see how it relaxes. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take the second piece of the pocket. So I'm going to place it like this, okay, and seal this edge from this place. I'm going to seal round to this point where I notch, okay. So but because I wouldn't want this one to be this edge to be outside, so that is why I'm going to turn it like this. I will gently turn it like this. So I'm going to turn it like this. This is how I'm going to start sewing. So I'm going to sew like this. I will start from this edge and sew round, round, up to this point where I notch. Can you see up to this point? So that's the next thing I will be doing right now. So I will go to my machine and do that quickly. So as you can see right here, I've stitched round up to this point here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to remove these excesses. I'm going to remove these excesses. I'm going to remove the excesses like I'm doing right now. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to turn it inward. To turn inside out. So here is the pocket. So I'm going to turn it like this. So can you see? So haven't turned it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to top stitch again so that it will relax well. So I'm going to start from here. So I'm going to start from here and I top stitch round. So by the time I top stitch, you will see it relax the flat like this. Now as you can see right here, I've stitched it. Can you see how neat it is? Can you see both front and back? So you can see how relaxed it is. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to turn it to the front. Okay, so right now I'm going to place the back piece on it and seal the side, one of the sides. So I'm going to place it like this. Okay, so I'll place it like this. Can you see? So I'm going to seal downward. From here I'm going to sew, but I'll be mindful of this place. So I'll be mindful that it doesn't touch this on this opening here, this one here, this top stitch that I made here. But I'll make sure that it passes through this place, then downwards. So that is what I will be doing right now. So after that, after completing this, I'll be right back. I'm going to show you so that you'll see. Now as you can see right here, I've finished sewing the back piece to the front piece, and look at it. You see, very neat. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to top stitch this side, this one here. So I'm going to top stitch this side straight. So I'm going to top stitch like this straight, then I come to this side here just to make it to relax. So right now, as you can see, I've top stitched. That's why it's relaxed and neat like this. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, from this point here, I'm going to measure 3 inches. From here, I'm going to measure 3 inches. Or let me say from here, I measure 3 inches. So after 3 inches, I measure half of 3 inches. That is 1.5 inches. After 1.5, I continue. I measure 3 inches. Then I proceed. I measure 1.5 inches. I proceed. I measure 3 inches. 1.5 inches. 3 inches. 1.5 inches. So this is how I'm going to go. 3 inches, 1.5, 3 inches, 1.5 inches till I get to the end of this front piece. So having completed marking it, or the interval. So the next thing I'm going to do is to start pleating. So I'm going to overlap this to this. Then I use my pin to hold it. So I'm going to hold it. Then I proceed again. Here is another 3 inches. I overlap it like this. Can you see? So I use my pin to hold it. So I pin it down, as you can see me doing right here. So I proceed. I leave that interval. I move to these 3 inches. I use this to overlap this. Then I pin it down. And you see, so here is the 3 inches. I use it to overlap. I pin it down. And you see, so this is how I'm going to continue till I end it on this front piece. So the 1.5 inches is the interval. The 1.5 inches is the interval. You can see I didn't touch the 1.5. It's only the 3 inches I'm using. Just use the 3 inches to overlap each other. Then I proceed like that. At the end of the day, when I'm done, I will be right back. So after overlapping it like this, using my pin to pin it down, I will now go ahead and stitch the edge so that it can stay well. Now can you see, having completed the pleating, I went ahead to iron it, and that is why you can see it relaxed like this. So the next thing I'm going to do, so you can see, can you see, well ironed. And here is the back. This is the back. So by the time I put it together, it will be of the same width. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to take a piece like this. So I'm going to measure the width of this piece. I have it. You can see I've folded it into two. This is just to do to create, is to fix it, as this is serving as where the my hook is going to be. So right now I'm going to show you the width. The width for this is just approximately 2.5 inches, and for the length here I have like 6 inches or 5¾ inches. So right now it's okay by me. So I'm going to cut it into two because it's going to be two pieces. Can you see? And that this is, so I will be attaching it to the side here. So because it has to overlap. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this aside like this. So the next thing is to work on the band. Now I have the width of this band to be 1¾ of an inch. It's less than 2, 1¾ Now for the length of the band, you see the length of the circumference is of this waist. The waist circumference is 25 inches. So 25 inches, I'm going to add extra 2 inches. That makes it 27. Now 27, I'm going to add extra like 1.5 inches to it. So I will be having the total of 28.5 inches. So, and that is what I've measured here. That is for the length of my band. So I have, though I have 30 inches, so I'm going to remove it. I'm working with 28.5 inches because I've just done the calculation. So right now I'm going to reduce it to that 28.5 inches. So I'm going to reduce it. So right now I have the length of my band already. So the next thing I will be doing right now is to take my fabric. I'm going to lay it on the fabric. I'm going to lay this interface on the fabric. Then I iron it on it. So I'm going to place it, the glossy side, I'm going to place it like this on another fabric, and I'm going to leave like 0.5 inches, and that is where I will be stitching. You can see I left like 0.5 inches here. Okay, so all I need to do right now is to iron it to this fabric. So as you can see, I've ironed the interface to the fabric. So the next thing I'm going to do, let me trim it a bit so that one side is not wider or bigger than the other, because it has to be the same 0.5 inch. Let me trim it. Okay, so let me retrim it again. So all I'm doing right now is to make sure that it's in uniform. So right now, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to fold it into two like this. I'm going to fold it into two like this. So having fold it into two like this, so I'm going to mark it, use my chalk to mark it. So that is where I'm going to cut. I'm going to mark. So right now I'm going to cut it like this so that it will be in uniform. So as you can see right here, I've cut it. I've cut it. Now, by the time I fold it into two, you discover that it's of equal length. Can you see? So the next thing I just need to do is just to remove these excesses. So right now I'm going to open it. I'm going to open it again. So having opened it again, so I'm going to measure from this interface. You can see where I place my measuring tape. I'm going to measure 1.5 inch here. So I have it here. So from here, I'm going to cut. So right now I haven't cut that side, so I'm going to fold this in like this, and I stitch the tip, I mean the edge here, downwards down to the other end. So that's the next thing I will be doing right now. I stitch it downwards so that it will stay like this. So I will be right back. Can you see? I've sealed this one to the interface. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to fold it like this. I'm going to fold it into two like this. Can you see? So as I fold it into two like this, I'm going to stitch like this up to this point, up to this end here. I will also go to the other side here. I'm going to run a stitch like this, straight like this. So that's the next thing I will be doing right now. So as you can see it right here, I've stitch up to this point like this, and I also went ahead the other side. I just stitch it like this. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to turn it out. I will also turn this. Can you see? So after that is just to stitch it to the waistline. So I'm going to stitch from here. This one here is the hook seat. So I will just start from here up to, so I attach it to the waist of the skirt and I sew. So right now, before I fix the band to the waist, so the next thing is just to fix this where the I'm going to fix this to the side of the two sides of the waist. So I'm going to sew it with 0.5 or less than that. So I'm going to sew it down to from the edge here to the down part here. After that, then I'm going to turn it like this and fold it in. So this is going to overlap because this is where I'm going to fix my pin. So as you can see, I fixed the hook seat. Here is it on two sides, and I went ahead to overlap it together like this, and I stitch from the base. Here is it. After overlapping it to the base, I stitch from here downwards of the skirt. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, so this is how it looks. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to fix my band on it. So here is the right side. So I'm going to fix my band right now on it. So in fixing the band on it, so I'm going to make a mark. I'm going to mark it. That is where I'm going to run the stitch. So I'll mark it. Here is it. So I'm going to mark it end to end like I'm doing right now. So I mark. Can you see? After marking it right now, so I'm going to place this. I'm going to start from here, but this one I'm going to fold it in like this. So because it's going to overlap, so I will fold this in like this. Also this one I'm going to fold it in like this. So at the end of the day, this is how it's going to be. After I've stitched it together, this is how it's going to overlap each other. Can you see? So right now I'm going to run the stitch right now. I'm going to place this on this, tracing it with that mark round to the other end. So I've completed this tutorial. I've fixed the band as you can see right here. So everything is well fixed. Only the down part, I'm yet to fold the down part, and that is all. I really want to appreciate you for taking your time to watch this video. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you kindly drop your question in the comment section. Thank you so much. Till I come your way again. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button below and you click on the notification bell so that you can have access to my video. So till we meet again, bye for now.